These lucky people went through hell and survived. They find themselves alone and injured and must pull themselves together to survive the harsh conditions they find themselves in. We will be looking at people who survive terrifying and near-death situations. Let's have a look of top 7 people who survived the impossible. When German-Peruvian mammalogist Juliana Koepcke was a teenager, she joined her parents in setting up a research station in the Amazon rainforest in Peru. While her time there was cut short, she learned vital survival skills that would save her life. On December 24, 1971, 17-year-old Koepcke and her mother were flying on Lanza Flight 508 when lightning struck the plane. As the aircraft broke apart mid-air, Koepcke remained strapped into her chair, still attached to 2 other seats. She fell 10,000 feet, crashing into the Amazon rainforest. She suffered significant injuries, including a broken collarbone, an eye injury, and a deep cut on her arm. After finding a fisherman's camp, she gave herself first aid treatment and even poured gasoline into the wound to force the maggots out. After 11 grueling days, a fisherman rescued Koepcke, who would eventually return to the area to identify her mother's body. Koepcke made a full recovery and graduated from the University of Kiel, taking over the research station in Peru after her father's death in 2000. Russian scientist Anatoli Burgoski survived a near-death experience with a particle accelerator. For those not in the know, a particle accelerator moves energy through 2 beams employing electromagnetic fields. Coming into contact with these beams can result in illness and death. On July 12, 1978, Burgoski was repairing a malfunctioning component when one of the rays passed through the back of his head. The beam entered his earlobe, burning through his face, bone, and brain tissue before exiting through his nose. He also received a deadly amount of radiation. While Burgoski didn't feel any initial pain, he was near death in a few days. The beam's path became visible when Burgoski's skin began peeling, and his face swelled to twice its size. Amazingly, Burgoski managed to survive and went on to receive his PhD. He continued to work, although he struggled with seizures, fatigue, and paralysis to his face. Getting hit by lightning once is a painful and debilitating experience. In addition to severe pain, lightning strikes often cause serious burns. Nobody knew that better than Park Ranger Roy Sullivan. He worked at Virginia's Shenandoah National Park most of his life, and is best known for surviving 7 separate lightning strikes throughout his life. Nicknamed Human Lightning Rod, Sullivan suffered through the strikes between 1942 and 1977. The first strike occurred when he ran out of a burning building. Other strikes happened when he was on a routine patrol. The combination of Virginia's thunderstorms and Sullivan's job put him in the line of the strikes on a seasonal basis. On the morning of September 28, 1983, Sullivan died at the age of 71 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. 2 of his ranger hats are on display at 2 Guinness World exhibit halls in New York City and South Carolina. On May 26, 2013, the Nigerian tugboat, Gascon 4, capsized at a chevron platform in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Nigeria. The boat landed on the seafloor upside down, killing 11 crew members. Somehow, the cook, Harrison Odjegba Okene, survived the accident. In pitch-black darkness, Okene found his way to the engineer's office and created a platform above the water from a mattress and other objects. Using the platform, Okene survived for 3 days due to the sufficient air in the room despite the boat being submerged under water. After 60 hours, South African divers discovered Okene clinging to the mattress when they went to recover the bodies. Despite losing consciousness during the rescue, Okene amazingly survived the ordeal. Mountaineer Aron Ralston has a unique and inspirational story. On April 3, 2003, Ralston went canyoneering alone in Blue John Canyon in Wayne County, Utah. As Ralston descended a canyon, he accidentally set a boulder free. The dislodged boulder crushed his hand and pinned his arm against the canyon wall. Since he didn't tell anyone about his plans to go hiking, nobody knew where Ralston was. and he remained trapped by the boulder for several days. Ralston slowly drank his remaining water over the period of 5 days, even drank his urine to survive as he tried to free himself from the boulder. He became dehydrated and delirious. With no options left, Ralston amputated his arm to free himself from the boulder. He then rappelled out of the canyon with one arm and hiked until he could find help. After the incident, Ralston gained a small amount of fame after appearing on several talk shows. He also wrote a book about his experience between a rock and a hard place, inspiring the feature film 127 Hours.
My name's Aron Ralston. My parents are Donna and Larry Ralston of Englewood, Colorado.
In the summer of 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forcing Japan to surrender and bringing an end to World War II. Both bombings killed between 129,000 and 226,000 people, with many dying immediately and others over time from radiation poisoning and other health issues. While the Americans targeted cities with military facilities, they primarily comprised of civilians. Amazingly, many people survived the bombing of their city. Even more miraculously, around 70 people survived both explosions, notably Tsutomu Yamaguchi. On August 6, 1945, Nagasaki native Yamaguchi visited Hiroshima for business. At 8:15 a.m., the U.S. military dropped the little boy atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Yamaguchi suffered severe burns all over his body. He was lucky to survive the first ordeal. On August 9th, Yamaguchi was surprisingly back at work in Nagasaki. Early in the morning, the United States dropped the second atomic bomb, Fat Man, on Nagasaki. Once again, the bombing caused immense damage and killed thousands of people. Yamaguchi somehow survived the second nuclear bomb as well. While he suffered further injuries, he lived well into old age, dying from stomach cancer in 2010. On Christmas Eve 2004, physician Maria Belon, her husband Enrique, and 3 sons, Lucas, Simon, and Tomas, arrived in Khao Lak, Thailand for a family vacation. 2 days later, the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami struck the country and surrounding area on December 26th. The earthquake hit a 9.1 on the Richter scale, destroying Sumatra, Indonesia, and the surrounding coastal countries, notably Sri Lanka and Thailand. The earthquake caused a massive tsunami, inflicting further damage. As one of the deadliest disasters in recent history, it cost the lives of roughly 227,898 people. Miraculously, Belon and her family survived the incident. In the immediate aftermath, Belon suffered near-fatal injuries and had to have emergency surgery to save her life. Her husband and sons were split up but found each other, reuniting with Belon at the hospital. The entire family somehow managed to survive and reunite. The critically acclaimed 2012 film, The Impossible, told the true story of the family and stars Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, and Tom Holland. What do you think about all of these people? And what will you do if you were in their position? Let us know by comment down below. It must be a nightmare and trauma for the rest of life. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow so we can bring you a better content to watch. We really appreciate it. See you in the next video.